Good evening and welcome out everyone to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. Coach Frank here. I'll be taking you around the tackle trading site, show you around a little bit, let you know what we're doing and when we're doing it, where you can find it, all of that fun stuff. Just a couple of announcements, before we dive right into business. Number one, we still have a few hours left in our annual sale. So if there's any tackle trading products you've been interested in, want to get a little more information on, you can head over to that store tab. We still got the rest of the day. Here it is Monday the 10th before that sale goes off. So you can find any information over in the store tab, or of course you can always send us an email to team@tackletrading.com. Be happy to help you out. As we get diving in here tonight, I always kind of like to break things down, put things in buckets, if you will. And when I'm, breaking down tackle trading, I kind of put it into the three main buckets. The things that you do on your own, that's going to be courses, blogs, some of, our trader tools like the trading journals and the playbook and things of that nature. Then things that you can do with others, basically the schedule, what does the, daily, every market day look like? What does the evening slate look like? And then lastly, our weekend reports where we can share our ideas on the market, some trade setups with members of our team. So that's kind of the way we'll come at it here this evening. Really at the end of it all, though, to me at least, and I think, the community would agree, at Tackle Trading, we're just a bunch of traders that have come together to bounce ideas around with one another, share what's working, share what's not, and really just helping each other out, right? And I think sometimes trading can be a little bit lonely because we're usually, by ourselves in our office, our home office. Typically, your next door neighbor, your buddy doesn't want to talk trading with you. Trading's one of those things that either people really want to talk about it or really don't. In my experience, at least, that's kind of how my life works. I've got lots of people in it who love talking trading with me, and other people who want me to shut up whenever I start. Hopefully, as you get to know us here at Tackle Trading, you can find that community of folks that are always happy to talk trading with you. Let's talk about that first bucket, the things that you can do on your own. A couple of things I would highlight very quickly. Number one is the Trading Justice podcast. Right now, I'm in the Trade Center at Tackle Trading. There's a link to tradingjustice.com, but it's just tradingjustice.com. Each week, the guys, Coach Mark, Coach Matt, and Coach Tim, put out the Trading Justice podcast. Really good, insightful stuff. A lot of fun going on over there and a lot of learning as well. You can find the Trading Justice podcast directly on tradingjustice.com, which is what I tend to do, and listen to it right there. You can also catch it on all of the major podcast providers. There's also a really good monthly newsletter that you'll find over on Trading Justice as well that is very much worth checking out. So if you haven't had a chance to do so, I would definitely check out Trading Justice. We also do the huddle here at Tackle Trading at the end of the week, basically just highlighting the top 10 stories of the week in a quick, efficient, and unbiased manner to let make sure everybody is kind of up to date with the week that was in the market. You can find a link to the huddle just up top here. Just like the Trading Justice podcast, you can listen to it right on the website, or you can catch it on any of your favorite podcast providers. So those hopefully can be good things that you find ways to incorporate into your weekly, or in the case of the newsletter, the monthly routine. I think you will enjoy them. Over here at Tackle Trading, the first thing that kind of comes to my mind when I think about things that you can do on your own is going to be courses. We offer a variety of courses to all of our pro members. The 7-step guide to trading is kind of, I think it's kind of a couple things. One, it's kind of an introduction to the tackle trading way, right? No two traders are the same. And I think that's true no matter, what you're doing. But I think from kind of a psychological point of view, we all kind of share a similar approach to the markets here at Tackle Trading, and kind of have a way that we approach the markets, from starting at the top of the market, choosing our strategies, finding our trades. We're big watch list traders around here. So how do we find them and stay on top of them? So when we do get those signals, we're ready to take action. Of course, planning, placing, and managing the trade, journaling the trade. So in a lot of ways, it'll kind of introduce you to, kind of the Tackle Trading philosophical approach to trading. If you're a newer trader, it'll also probably give you some structure, which you might be missing. There's no shame in it, but for most of us, when we're newer traders, we aren't necessarily the most efficient. We work hard, but we maybe don't work as efficient as we would like to do so. So hopefully, if you're a newer trader, you can get some, ideas that make your routine a little bit smoother as well. And even if you're a vet, while I wouldn't expect you to dramatically change your existing routine, maybe there's a couple things in there that can make it a little bit smoother for you as well. So that is the 7-step guide to trading. Of course, as traders, technical analysis, charting is kind of a backbone of everything that we're doing, right? And that's true whether we're day trading, swing trading, position trading, cash flow trading, trading cryptos, trading stock, trading options, whatever it might be. We're going to be using those charts. So the more we understand and the better we are at reading those charts, I think probably the smoother things are going to be all around. And that's exactly what we'll be talking in the Technical Analysis 101 course, right? Charts, charts, and more charts, support, resistance, trend, pattern, momentum, all of that good stuff. Definitely worth checking out. Over in the Options 101 course, we're really going to talk a lot about what's going on when you buy or sell that call or put option. Right? What are the factors that are moving that contract, right? We do need to understand those Greeks and why do those options move the way that they do. The better we understand them, I think the more success we're going to have with whatever strategy it is that we are employing. So if you're newer to options or not got a lot of experience, but that's an area that's been interesting to you, I would say that is a great place to start. I do believe firmly that the better you understand why that contract's doing the things it's going to do is going to make things a lot more understandable as you dive into a variety of different set strategies. If you've ever been interested in learning more about the futures or the Forex markets and not really known where to start, this can be a great place to do just that. These are leveraged markets and not everybody likes to trade them, and that's perfectly fine. But I don't want anybody to feel like they can't trade crypto, they can't trade futures, they can't trade options. If you prefer to trade something else, that's great. That's what's awesome about the market, right? There's a lot of products for us, and we don't have to trade them all if we don't want to do so. But I always want folks, myself included, to kind of come at it from a position of strength. Yeah, I looked into it. It just didn't seem like it was a good fit, or wow, that's my favorite new thing. So if you've ever been interested in learning about either of those markets, can be a great place to start. No matter what you're trading, what products, what time frames, no matter what, we all want to have very clearly designed systems and rules in place governing our actions. The system development course is designed to help train you to think like a systems developer when it comes to trading. I cannot recommend this course enough, whether you're a brand new trader, a grizzled veteran, just trading options, just trading cryptos, trading a little bit of everything, whatever it is, I think you will benefit tremendously from that System Development 101 course. And I would definitely make some time to check that out. In addition to our courses for our pro members, we do offer a handful of premium systems here at Tackle Trading. The Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system. Step system is our swing trading system. Cash flow condors is another cash flow system on the Russell. Bear market survival guide, kind of protecting our long-term portfolio from bearish market turns and then navigating those turns once they occur. Each of these premium systems is kind of a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life. Every month we get together with members of that team in a mastermind group, which we'll talk a little bit more about here in a few minutes. If you would like any more information, now is a great time to look into it. All of those systems are on sale over in the store tab. Just let us know, or you can find more information about any or all of those systems over there in that store tab. In addition to courses, we do regular blog content, both written and in video format, whether it's more charting and the tales of technician, work with Coach Greg over in the Rookie Corner and kind of taking concepts from the ground up, options and the option theory, hearing from our awesome female trading community and the Women in Trading blog. These are just additional ways that we can answer questions that our team might be having. They share ideas based off of what we're seeing in the markets, or what people are struggling with, or what's really working. So just not everything has to be an hour-long webinar or a big course or anything like that. Sometimes we can share ideas in a quick video or in a quick little write-up. So I would definitely encourage you to check out those blogs. Over in the Trade Center, you're going to find a couple of things. You're going to find a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook, which we're going to hop over to here in just a minute. You'll find a link to our trading journals. I'll also show you another way that you can get to them before we're done. A link to our trading glossary, a link to our clubhouse, which is just another communication tool that we have for members of the team, where they can just ask questions, bounce ideas around with one another, and whatnot. In the tackle trading playbook, this is where you're going to find all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We break our strategies into three core buckets based off of the option Greeks: Delta, Theta, and Vega. Our Delta playbook is our directional playbook, right? I think the stock's going from 60 to 65, from 80 to 75, right? Expect it to go from point A to point B. So that would, of course, be buying or selling stock. That would also be buying call options, buying put options, buying, debit spreads, ratio spreads, basically movement-based strategies. Then you're going to have the theta playbook. This is the time or the cash flow playbook. The great thing about options is we get to sell them, right? We can take advantage of the one guarantee, which is time decay, right? We know for a fact that tomorrow is Tuesday, it's going to come and go, right? I don't know for sure what, any given stock's going to do, but I know that Tuesday is going to pass in the not too distant future. So that's going to be things like selling covered calls, naked puts, credit spreads, iron condors, basically bringing in that premium up front. Certainly a big cash flow. I think collectively as a team here, we are a big fan of cash flow strategies, and many of us incorporate at least some of that cash flow trading into our overall trading plan. Then you're going to have the Vega or the volatility playbook. These are going to be bidirectional plays where we're basically playing off of the expected volatility that we see on the stock. As we're, in January now, we're going to be getting into earnings here in just a couple of weeks. I'm sure we've all seen some pretty crazy moves, both up and down, as the stock reports its earnings and, it beats the number, it misses the number terribly, lowers guidance. We've all seen those crazy moves. So if we wanted to build a trade on a stock, say going into earnings based off of its, normal volatility, maybe it does tend to move a lot one way or the other. Well, of course, there's no way that we can know which way it's going to move this time. We might want to just play the history and say, it usually moves a lot. Let's just build a trade that profits as long as it does what it usually does. So that's what you're going to find in the Vega playbook. In all of these, you will find a detailed video going over, what the strategy is, why we would choose the strategy, how we would do the strategy, our rules for the strategy, how you would set the order up if you're using Thinkorswim as well. You will also find a little downloadable PDF cheat sheet, so you can have easy access to the rules. How much time am I buying or selling? What's my delta rule? All of that good stuff. You will also notice that on all of them, there is something from a 0 to a plus or a -3. And that's just kind of, if you think about it, kind of along a spectrum. 0 is flat neutral, +3 is very bullish, -3 is very bearish. We always want to match the strategy to our read of the situation, right? And so this is kind of where we see those strategies along that spectrum. As a general rule, the way I think about it is, 0 is neutral, plus or -1 is slightly bullish or slightly bearish, 2 or -2 is bullish or bearish, or moderately bullish or bearish, and then 3 or -3 is very bullish or very bearish, right? And so that's kind of where we see these strategies fitting along those lines. So that is the tackle trading playbook. If you go directly into the trade center, it'll bring you to a what's up at tackle trading page. It'll just kind of let you know what's our next, our next show, our most recent posts, most recent report, most recent tweet, a little watch list function. If you would like to have a watch list just built right into tackle trading, all you need to do is just, throw in your symbol. Say we want to add Taiwan Semiconductor to our watch list. We're just going to click, put it in there. I'm just going to click that button. I'm going to hit this plus right here, and that's going to add Taiwan Semiconductor to my watch list. If I change my mind, or if I decide, I had AAP in for a breakout candidate, but I'm not interested anymore for whatever reason, you just select them and hit that little minus button, and that will get rid of them. If you do want to kind of build a little mini watch list for yourself here on the Trade Center, that is how you would do that. It'll let you know where you are in any of the courses that you're currently taking, so you can pick right back up where you left off. A little mini calendar for the next little while here at Tackle Trading. A replay of or a live showing of our YouTube shows, typically the halftime report, but it could be another YouTube show as well. Of course, this is where we also found the link to tradingjustice.com. There are also a variety of tools in here. You will find the market skyline. This is just where we kind of have everything in one place, right? All the big stuff in one place. So all of the major indexes, futures contracts in the case of indexes, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, Bitcoin, the VIX, the emerging market, the all world ETF. So all of the, the big stuff, the major commodities, gold, silver, copper, crude, the sector spider ETF, so we can kind of see what areas stood out today. Healthcare definitely stood out today, right here on XLV, up over 1% on a day that every other sector except for tech finished in the red. So these are all important parts of the daily routine. We'll talk a lot about them in that first step of the 7-step guide to trading. They're a big part of what we're doing here every day. It's important to go through them. It doesn't have to be on this page. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. But I do think if you incorporate this methodology into your daily routine, you will find more success as a trader for sure. There's also a link to the FinViz heat map in here. This will just take you to the FinViz heat map for the S&P 500 for the day. Just that quick visual, what was up, what was down, does anything stand out? Just another way to generate ideas as far as, it's a little bit of a bounce back in some of the semiconductors today. Maybe I'll go take a look at some of my favorite semiconductor stocks, or maybe I'll scan for a couple. The default is set on the S&P 500 for a 1 day, but there is some flexibility. You can look at performance for the week, the quarter, the month, certain fundamental ratios. So there is a little customization in there as well. Just another way to generate ideas. You'll find a news aggregator in here that'll go through some of the bigger financial sites, CNBC, The Times, Market Watch, Wall Street Journal, and it's just going to not do anything that I couldn't do, that you couldn't do, right? But it's just going to get them all orderly in one place so I can easily scroll through and see if there's something that's interesting to me. If there is, great, I'll read it. If it's not, I'll just scroll right by it, right? So it's really just designed to save some time, get things a little more organized, save some bouncing around. It can be a very, very helpful way to kind of browse the news, in my opinion, at least. The economic calendars, we can know what's on the docket for today or for the upcoming trading week that might have an impact on the market. Another link to our reports, another link to our trade journals. We're going to circle back to the trade journal here in just a minute. But before we do, a link to the compounding gains calculator, just to help illustrate the, power of compounding gains, as simple as that sounds. A link to a chart if you ever need one, another link to our glossary or our search function. You can also find that search function right up here in this little magnifying glass as well. And the search function here at Tackle Trading is pretty smart. So if you're ever looking for information on something, say you want more information on covered calls or iron condors or whatever it is, never hesitate to reach out and ask us. We'll be happy to help. But a lot of times just doing a quick search can get you lots of content on the subject that you're diving into. It is a pretty smart search tool, in my opinion, at least. If we go into the trade journals here, I'm going to do that. Now, as we kind of noticed when we looked at the drop down, there was there is a link to the trade journals there as well. I've always preferred to come in through the Trade Center like we just did, because it takes us right directly to the tutorial. And some of us aren't particularly great at spreadsheets and could use a little bit of a helping hand. And I certainly was one of those. Either way, you can get access to those trade journals. We offer 3 different trading journals. The trade journal is kind of what you probably think. Hey, today's date, what I bought, what I paid for it, how much of it I bought, ultimately where I sold it. It's all I need to do is tell it what I did, and it's going to give me all the rest of the information so I can basically see what I'm experiencing as a trader, and I can make targeted adjustments based off of what is or is not working for me. If you're not journaling your trades already, I would certainly encourage you to do so. The theta research tool is designed so we can build out and compare different cash flow plays, right? We might have 6 covered call candidates that we're interested in, but maybe we only want to do 2 of them, right? We want to be able to compare them fairly to one another. So we can do that over in the theta research tool, the portfolio journal, to help us keep organized, know exactly where we are in the overall portfolio. If you come into it directly through the Trade Center like I just did, just scroll down, just select whichever one you need. I'm looking for the theta tool, the research tool, the portfolio journal, the regular trade journal, and you can get them downloaded right in here as well. And if you do need some help, there is a tutorial, and there are several other discussions on it on the different trade journals as well, if you ever need a little bit more of a helping hand on that side of things. So that's going to kind of highlight some of the big things that you can do on your own. Hopefully I did it justice in kind of explaining it, and we'll kind of shift gears into that second area, and that's going to be that that schedule, right? Where can we hang out with other traders? Where can we learn? Where can we ask questions, right? That type of stuff. So let's kind of start with the, typical Monday through Friday, the market day, if you will. Every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we get together in our traders lounge right here at Tackle Trading. It's just a place where members of the team can come in, hang out, ask questions, get answers, share ideas, share setups, get help, whatever that might mean. Everyone's always welcome in there. There's no limit on how often you can join. You're certainly always welcome to ask your questions. There's nothing too basic and nothing too advanced that you can't ask us in there. That'll go for an hour every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We are not going to record this one regularly because, quite honestly, no one's going to go and watch one from 7 months ago, right? But we can and will record snippets throughout, from time to time, and get them posted in here for you as well. And if your schedule is such that maybe you're at work, 11 Eastern Monday through Friday when the market's open, but you do need some help, you can always reach out to us. Always send us an email. Let us know the situation. We're more than happy to do our best to accommodate you, get it recorded, get it snipped and put in here so you can get the help that you need. So every market morning, 11 Eastern, it's going to be the Traders Lounge. And then shortly after the lounge at 12:30, we're going to head over to our YouTube channel for the Tackle Trading Halftime Report, live looking on the market, where we're going through that daily routine, right? We're taking that top-down approach. So what's going on in the market today, how it is impacting our indexes, our sectors, our major commodities, stocks in the news, all of that fun stuff to stay on top of the market. That's live each market day at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Of course, being on YouTube, once the stream's over, it does just automatically go to our channel, right? So every single day, or every single market day, I should say, we'll be here with the team, whether it's here at Tackle Trading, in the lounge at 11 or over on our YouTube channel at 12:30 for the halftime report. Then we're going to have the evening schedule, if you will. Basically, every Monday night, I'm going to do this webinar, just taking anybody new to the site or maybe checking us out for the first time, hopefully letting them get to know, Tackle Trading a little bit better. No two are tremendously different from one another. You're always, welcome to check it out if you would find it helpful, but certainly don't have to feel obligated to do so. I would say our flagship show is on Tuesday nights. At least what I consider the flagship show is the Coaches Show on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is live. It is also recorded and archived. You can, catch all of the replays on any, if you need to watch it a second time, watch some old shows on subjects that are interesting to you. We're on a Tuesday night, right? And so we can do a quick market skyline based off of the movement that we are seeing in the market on Monday and Tuesday's trading days. Sometimes some things are really standing out for opportunity, be it bullish opportunity, bearish opportunity, cash flow opportunities. So we can do a quick market skyline and kind of highlight anything that's really standing out a couple days into the trading week. It also allows us to, and this is what I love about the Coaches Show, is allows us to take a topic that's relevant to today's market, right? If we're in the middle of if we're in a bullish retracement, that's a good topic to have, right? If we're testing the 50-day moving average, talking about, and why that is such an important thing, strategy selection, so many things that we could talk about as traders, right? And the Coaches Show really allows us to say something that's relevant to today's market and have an in-depth discussion on that particular subject. It's a lot of fun. It's very informative. There's lots of old episodes of the Coaches Show on lots of different subjects. You can never, there's so many things to talk about in trading. Sometimes it's hard to give, any one thing a fair amount of time, right? And the Coaches Show really allows us to kind of do that deep dive into whatever it might be, right? Trading bull flags. Let's just talk about trading bull flags, right? When to do, bull calls versus long calls. We can just really have those type of discussions. Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is live, but it is recorded and archived. You can find all of the archives directly in the link there. On Thursday nights, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our cash flow club. This one's going to be a little more narrowly focused, as the name kind of gives away, on building and managing those cash flow strategies, those theta-based trades, right? Those credit spreads, those naked puts, those covered calls, those iron condors, right? Building and managing those type of trades. Just like the Coaches Show, it is recorded and archived. If you can't join us live, or if you need to watch it again, or if you want to watch an old episode on something that you find interesting, very easy to do there in the archives. On Monday nights, in addition to this webinar, typically we're going to be meeting, as I brought up earlier, with our premium systems. Once a month, we get together with members of that team, right, in a mastermind group. Typically do that on Monday nights. We invite all of our pro members, whether they're using those products or not, whether they've purchased the premium systems or not. We certainly invite all of our pro members to come in and join us in those mastermind groups. Tonight it'll be the Tackle 25 as Coach Matt unveils this year's edition. It's going to be pretty darn exciting. Looking very much forward to that. We always will invite our pro members, whether it's the Tackle 25, the Step, the Condor, the Bear Market, to join us in those mastermind groups, along with the folks who are members of those premium systems. On Wednesday, we kind of do a 2-for here, right on our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern. We do our Trade Masters webinar. Couple of the coaches will get together with 3 different trade ideas, one based off of Delta, one based off of Theta, and one based off of Wildcard. Can be whatever they want. They'll talk their trade ideas, through with one another, as well as members of our community in the live chat. Our community will vote for each trade idea that they like the best, and at the end the winner is declared the trade master for the week. It's really just a fun way to be able to bounce ideas around. As watch list traders, as we get to Wednesday night, sometimes we need a few new stocks in our watch lists, right? Things blew, the pattern blew up on Monday, or got it, it's already running, and we need to either be there already, or it's Wednesday, it's maybe we missed that particular trade. So it's just a fun way to be able to share and bounce ideas around with other traders. Shortly after that YouTube show, we're going to come back over here to Tackle Trading for our Wednesday night Traders Lounge. That'll be at 8:30 Eastern. It's going to be very similar to the daily Traders Lounge that we do at 11 in the morning, with one exception. We just came out of the Trade Masters webinar, right? So if you have any particular questions or want to have any further discussion on any of the ideas that were presented in that show, we can, of course, talk about them as well. But maybe your schedule, you're just at work, at 11 Eastern, Monday through Friday. But you have some questions, you want to come hang out with some other traders, whatever it is. Hopefully this Wednesday night lounge can help you on that side of things as well. So that'll be 7 Eastern right here on our YouTube channel for the Trade Masters webinar, and 8:30 Eastern right back over here at Tackle Trading for that Wednesday night lounge. In an overly simplified way to think about it, the morning lounge is for our team's questions. What do you need? What are you struggling with? What do you need to look at, right? The halftime report is really all about that daily routine, right? Staying on top of things. And the evening shows are where we can kind of put that teacher's hat on, take those deeper dives on all of these different subjects. That certainly is an overly simplified way to look at it for sure, but hopefully as you're getting to know us, that can kind of organize it a little bit in your mind. As I mentioned earlier, we have a tremendous team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading. They get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. We'll make sure that we highlight that and make sure people are aware of when it's coming up. I don't get to go. I've never been, and I never will, but that's okay. I know the team, and I have no doubt that there's some good learning going on in there and a lot of fun being had. So if you're a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading who is interested in trading, I would definitely keep your eyes open for the next Women in Trading Mastermind group and take advantage of that. And fellas, sorry, you'll have to find something else to do that day as well. So that's kind of the schedule side of things. Now let's talk a little bit about our weekend reports. On Fridays, as the market's winding down, all of us coaches are getting together in what we call our scouting report meeting, where we're just talking markets, our read on the broad market, our reads on the different sectors, different commodities, trade setups that we're eyeballing going into the upcoming week. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our Tackle newsletter, stock options, and commodity report. We get these delivered to our pro members on Saturday afternoon, so they have plenty of time to go through any or all of them before the market does get opened back up. Over in the Tackle newsletter, we're kind of, again, sticking with step 1 of that 7-step guide to trading, right? Starting at the top of the market. And that's exactly what we're doing here in the Tackle newsletter each week. So a quick, rundown of the week that was, what happened in the market from both the price action and a news perspective, what was moving it, little bit of sector talk, and look at the upcoming economic calendar. Of course, we'll have a video going through this stuff with the team, where we are in the broad market as a whole, right? Be the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell. If you do need the ETFs, or at least the ETFs that most traders I know at least use to track those indexes. DIA tracks the Dow, QQQ tracks the NASDAQ, IWM tracks the Russell, and SPY tracks the S&P 500. Where are we on the internals of the market, right? So new highs versus new lows. This is going to look at over 8,000 stocks to let us know, hey, of all these different stocks in the market, are we seeing things make new highs? Are we seeing them make new lows? Because that's really giving us a better idea of the internals, right? And the internal strength of the market. Similarly, with the advanced decliner, each week we're going to be ranking the sectors as well. As you can kind of see here, we put on a little bit of what we call our scoreboard, which is a football field. We are going to be ranking them based off of the sector spider ETFs, which you can also find just right below here. If you're not familiar with the sector spiders, they are important. They're ETFs. The website is just sectorspdr.com if you want to take a closer look at the actual ETF providers page and see, take a little deeper dive into these things. But in a nutshell, what they're going to do is they're going to go into the S&P 500 and pull out stocks just by sector. So XLK, for example, is the technology sector. XLE is the energy sector. XLV is the healthcare sector, right? So we're going into the S&P 500 and we're pulling out just the stocks in that particular sector. We're weighting them accordingly. These are based off of the S&P 500, which is a weighted index. So these are going to be weighted as well, and gives us a much more isolated look at these different sectors. Not everything is sometimes everything looks pretty much the same, but usually something's standing out, something's lagging behind, right? And these can be very helpful tools in helping us identify what's going on in the world of sectors. These are ETFs, they are tradable, they're optionable, but even if we don't want to trade them, they're a great way to kind of stay on top of the different sectors. We're going to be using them in our rankings of the sectors. We're not specifically ranking XLE. We are ranking it XLE based off of the stocks that make up that ETF, right? So we're looking at all of the different stocks within that energy space, or within that real estate space, or whatever the case might be, as we're coming up with our collective rankings each and every week. You're going to notice that we have 3 different color codes here. Our growth sectors, technology, discretionary, and communications, will be represented in blue. These are the growth areas of the market. The cyclical side of the market, financials, industrials, energy, and basic materials, will be represented here in yellow or gold. And then the defensive side of the market, healthcare, consumer staples, real estate, and utilities, will be represented here in this purple plummy type of a color as well. Each week, we're going to be moving them up or down based off of what we're seeing on the components of those ETFs. Sometimes they're not going to move at all. Sometimes they're going to move a little. Sometimes they might move a little bit more than a little, right? So based off of what we are seeing, but we, as top-down traders, understanding the sectors and how they're performing and where the, opportunities or appear to be going into each week can be very, very helpful for us as traders. As you can kind of see here, between the 40s is going to be in neutral territory. The 40 to the 20 is going to be slightly bullish or slightly bearish. Between the 20 and the goal line, that's, bearish or bullish. We're not a particularly aggressive lot here at Tackle Trading. I know I'm certainly not a particularly aggressive person when it comes to trading. It's going to be pretty darn unlikely that you're going to ever see a sector put into plus or minus 3 territory. That would mean literally every stock that makes up that ETF had to be extremely bullish or extremely bearish looking, right? Even one outlier would probably put that to rest, and that there usually is somebody that's an outlier. So while it's pretty common to have a plus or a minus 3 ranking on a particular trade setup, right? Oh, I like this breakout. Oh, I like this inverted cup and handle. I'm really bearish on this thing or really bullish on this thing. It's a lot different when it comes to the sectors. And while I never want to say never, I doubt that you'll ever see us put an entire sector in that aggressive of territory. So we're usually going to live between the 40s and the the 10 yard line, probably as a general rule where we will be. But that, and again, we'll kind of explain kind of the thought process and why we came to these conclusions in the video portion of the newsletter. But hopefully that gives you an idea of kind of how it's coming together and why we're doing it that way. And again, if you need the symbols for the sector spider ETFs, they're right here. And if you need their website, you want to go check out, a little bit more about them, who makes up these sectors, how are they weighted? It's just the word sector, spdr.com. That is the ETF provider's website. At the end of our scanning report meeting, we all share our favorite bullish and bearish trade setup from our reports in our rapid fire. It's a fun way to end it for sure. And it seems like the team tends to like it. We've got our own private Discord channel. If you are a pro member, I certainly invite you to come on over and join us on the Team Tackle Discord. You can find the links to that in the stock report, the newsletter, the ops report. You can email us. You can ask us in our shows. We can get you that information. Just another fun way to be able to interact and engage with members of the team. So certainly invite you to join us over in our Discord. Just another friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? Sometimes we can get it in our head that I really want to buy a call, or I really want to sell a put, or I really want to do a credit spread, right? We're all human. It's possible that we run into that, right? But we want to make sure that we're kind of coming at it the other way. Hey, what's our read of the situation? Okay, what strategy is going to make the most sense? And while on a Monday night when the market's closed, of course, I'm going to do that. On a Tuesday at 11:47 while the market's rocking and rolling, maybe I need that friendly reminder, right? You're also going to find a pre-built scanner in here. So if any particular area has caught your attention, say you like the relative strength that you saw in the healthcare sector here today, we'll just use that as an example. This will bring us to a pre-built Finviz scanner. These are what I personally consider trader-friendly stocks. And when I say trader-friendly, I mean a couple of things. Number one, particularly liquid, very easy to trade shares. So if I'm not trading options, I'm definitely going to be able to trade shares. They're shortable. So if I'm looking on the bearish side of things and I'm looking to go short, I'm going to be able to do that. So I can, they're not hard to borrow. I can get in and not have an issue on the short side of things. They are all optionable. Now, just because a stock has options doesn't mean those options are particularly liquid, right? It's always a good idea to double check. And if you don't know how to do that, you'll learn about that in that Options 101 course. It's very important. If you've been trading options a while, you don't need me to tell you it's no fun to get stuck in an illiquid option. Right? It's not worth the headache and the hassle. But whether it's through shares or options, I'm going to be able to put together a trade on anything that I find in here that I think is interesting enough to put a trade in on, right? So that's kind of what I mean when I say trader friendly. And as you can kind of see here, it's just going to kind of give us a little bird's eye view of some stocks within this area. Now, I don't know about you, but I would never try to build a trade off these little teeny tiny charts. But, I kind of look at Pfizer. I know what I like, right? Had a recent breakout, pulled back, tested that old resistance and support, had a big fire up. And it looks like it's a little bit of a deeper retracement, but the last, several candlesticks, it looks to me like from a bird's eye view, at least, it's trying to put together a little bit of a floor. I think that's worth taking a closer look at on an actual trading platform before I go to bed. Now, maybe you agree and maybe you don't, and that's okay either way. But just like that, I found a candidate for my watch list. Maybe you prefer Abbott, or maybe you prefer the strength that you saw in Merck today breaking above some moving averages, or maybe you like this consolidation at the top on CVS, or maybe you were looking for something else altogether. But it's just a very easy way to quickly take a look at a bunch of stocks in an area that for whatever reason has caught your attention. What's the harm in me going and take a closer look at Pfizer? It's an interesting chart to me. I want to go take a closer look at it right now, but I will restrain myself until we are done. As to save us some time, just an easy way to find some additional trade ideas. Each, if a particular area's caught your mind. So again, we'll have that for all of the different sectors there. Just quick world watch. Where are we overall in the all world, in the emerging markets, and in the dollar index, and then just some final thoughts going into the upcoming week. So that is the newsletter. It is where you want to start because, again, it's the first step of that top-down analysis, right? What kind of prompted me to go look at those healthcare stocks? Well, the relative strength in today's price action is what prompted me just now to go look at those things. Whether I was right or wrong to do so, using that top-down analysis is kind of how I came to that conclusion, right? Then we're going to have the stock option commodity report. Coach Mark does the commodity report, does a great job kind of keeping the team up to date with the technicals, the fundamentals, the storylines that are going on in the world of commodities, gold, silver, crude oil, copper, right? And even if you're not trading those over in the futures market, maybe you don't like to trade gold futures, or you're not comfortable, or you don't know how, there are going to be plenty of things that we can do in the equity market to take advantage of price movement or consolidation as well in the world of commodities. And Coach Mark does a great job keeping people up to date and giving them ideas if they're not trading the futures market. So he does a really good job of keeping you on top of that. The stock and option report are going to be built fairly similar to one another in the sense that each week we want to make sure that whatever you're trading, whether it's stock, options, or both, or futures, all of the above, whatever, you have some actionable trade ideas going into the upcoming week, right? So each week as we're going through our scans and our scan report meeting, we're comparing a lot of different charts and a lot of different setups and coming up with what we like the best for a nice diversified watch list for some trade ideas going into the upcoming week. These are going to be swing trading based setups. So, a little consolidation breakout on BMY, right? A little bit of a bullish retracement on Juniper, a little bit of a high base breakout on Archer Daniels, right? We'll have both bullish and bearish trade candidates because you never know what the market's going to bring. It's never a bad idea to have, candidates on both sides. It's going to be the same whether we're talking the option report or the stock report from that perspective. We're looking for good, repeatable, quality swing trading, type of candidates, right? Where it's going to differ is, of course, in kind of the vehicle selection, right? In the stock report, we're kind of coming at these things from a stock trading perspective. Doesn't mean you can't look to trade options on them. You do always want to make sure you're comfortable with the liquidity, because there are going to be plenty of times where maybe the only reason it's in the stock report instead of the option report is simply because of option liquidity, right? And that's definitely going to be the case sometimes, but certainly not always. There's no harm in checking the option chain. If you prefer to do an option trade on Archer Daniels, check the option chain, check the liquidity. If you're comfortable, great. If you're not, no big deal, right? However, in the option report, every candidate on both the bull and the bear list is comfortable for at least all of us coaches at Tackle Trading. We would all be comfortable trading the options on that. Again, never a bad idea to get in the habit of always checking that option chain, right? You could probably tell I've been stuck in a liquid option or two, once or twice in my early trading days. So I always double check that. But at least we as a community of coaches are all comfortable with the idea of trading options on things in the option report. We're also going to have a little bit different discussions, right? In the stock report, because we're coming at it from a stock point of view, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the technical pattern itself, maybe a little more detail, stop loss placement, confirmation signals, all of that fun stuff. Whereas in the option report, we're going to talk a little bit more about, strategy selection, right? This might make sense to go in on a long call. This might make sense to go with a credit spread. So we'll talk a little bit more about the strategy selection side, of course, over in the options report. Each and every week. We'll also, do a little bit of teaching and talking, as we're coming into the upcoming earnings, season here. Both Coach Greg in the stock report and Coach Tyler in the option report talked a little bit about preparing for that upcoming earnings season that we have to deal with, whether we like it or not. So it always gives us a little opportunity to share some ideas and do a little bit of teaching the members of the team as well. All of the charts that are built in, as you've noticed, there are these trading view charts. If you're not familiar with them, I always like to take just a couple minutes and show people a couple tricks on these charts, since they are embedded into Tackle Trading. And while I would expect that the most likely way that you use a stock or option or commodity report or all of the above is you go through them on Saturday or Sunday, you find the setups you like, you say, you know what, Frank, I just don't like that Archer Daniels setup. I'm shying away from Lionsgate, but I really like Yum. I really like, Suncor. I really like Juniper, right? It's not about which ones you don't like. It's about which ones you do, right? That you want to add to your personal watch list. And I imagine you'll probably do most of your work through your own, charting platform. But at least probably the first time you're going through, you will be using these trading view charts. So a couple of quick things that you can do. I'll use Juniper as an example here. Number one, If you come up to the widget button and just smack it with the left click, it'll hide that, hit it again, it'll bring it right back to give you a little bit more chart. If in the body of the chart, you can scroll your mouse wheel up or down to kind of zoom in or out as you need to. You can also, by holding the left click down in the body of the chart, go back and forth like I'm doing here. Same thing over in the dollars side, hold the left click down and you can scrunch it up. So you can basically get this size the way that you want it to. Right. So it's comfortable and it looks right. Right. That's always in the eye of the beholder. But, when we look at as many charts as we do, there's a way it's supposed to look, right? So it's defaulted, of course, as you can clearly see here on candlesticks. But if for whatever reason you prefer bar charts, you can smack this little button here and that will give you the bar chart side of things as well. Because these are swing trading candidates, the default is going to be on a daily time frame. But maybe, you want to take a look at the, longer or shorter time frame, right? Little drop down here will allow us to go, shorter time frames. Let's go look at 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, hourly chart. Look at a longer time frame. Hey, is there any old resistance here that we need to be aware of on this monthly time frame? It's always one of the first things I do when I look at a chart is I go way back to see if there's any price history here. It doesn't look like there's any price history till about $38 to my eyes, at least. So you can kind of play around with changing the time frames if you need to do so. If you want to add an indicator or two right here where it says indicators, surprise, surprise, that's where you do that. Be aware that it's not going to save. So if I add the ATR here, which I usually do, and I kind of hover my mouse between the, I guess, barrier between the volume and this newly added indicator, I'm just going to hold it down so I can scrunch it up or down and get it sized right the way I want it to do. So if I leave this page and come back, the ATR is not coming back with me. So before you add too many indicators, just be aware of that. It's okay if you want to add, whatever you want to add, but just be aware that it is not going to save. Your trend line tool is going to be in here. So if we're kind of drawing a trend line, we're saying, okay, well, got some lows, got some lows, got some lows. So we're kind of working right into that trend line territory here. Maybe it's not particularly applicable right now, but if I wanted to draw some horizontal support or resistance, I can do that as well. If I don't need that line, I'll just left click it, hit that little trash bin. That'll get rid of that for me. So that's your trend line tool. And then lastly, right here, you'll find where you can prep out, long or short trades. So this is a long trade. So we'll just go with this one here. Long position here. I'm not going to get too crazy. I'm just going to say, for argument's sake, I like the idea of coming in above that candle from 3 days ago. Right, that's kind of where my entry would be, right about there, right? And my stop loss would be below today's low, right? So I'm putting this, setting this example up, kind of thinking that if I get above that Thursday high, then I can put my stop loss below today's low, right? And again, maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't, that's okay. I kind of like the idea of that, working just shy of that $38 mark that we looked at on that long-term chart as a second target, which now it's going to let me know what my risk to reward is. For every dollar I'm risking, I have $2.45 potential profit as the trade is construed. Maybe you say, Frank, 38's not a big deal. We're going to 39. Well, you're risking $1 to get 343. Maybe you say, I like 37 a little bit better. Well, that's going to give you $1.81. Well, approximately at 37.09 at least. Every dollar you're risking, you have $1.81. So it's going to save you a lot of time on math, right? As far as letting you know what the risk reward is. If your target price was 37 and you are like many swing traders, and most of us here at Tackle Trading, myself included, we have the 2-to-1 rule, right? And we say, okay, well, that doesn't reach the 2-to-1 rule. So either whatever, right? I'll just move on to another candidate, or maybe I'll come into an intraday chart and I'll take a closer look and see if I would feel comfortable getting in at a different price, right? What would happen if I got in above this today's and Friday's high instead, right? How's that going to change my risk to reward here? Maybe that's something I'm comfortable with. Maybe it's not, right? But it's really helpful. I mean, obviously it's helpful because it saves time from doing math, right? And if you're me, at least, you're not fast at doing math in your head, but it also helps visualize it, right? Boy, that's, that looks good, or that looks pretty darn tight, or wow, 37 didn't seem like so far away until I drew it on the chart, right? So a really helpful little tool. Again, that's right in here. You can do that for both the bulls and the bears. Of course, there's a lot of other things you can do in these trading view charts that are pretty cool. but that's a little bit probably enough for tonight. Some of the big ones, hopefully, to help you, get a little more value out of them as you're going through the stock, option, or commodity report each and every week. Again, you can expect to get these delivered to you by Saturday afternoon, so you have time to get through them before the market is back up and running. So whether you're, whatever you're trading and whatever you like to do, we always want to make sure, that you do have some actionable ideas going into the upcoming week. As we get wrapping up here, hopefully that explains those reports, hopefully give you a better idea of the schedule. And again, as you saw when we were talking a little earlier, the events calendar can be very helpful to get the links and everything if you're struggling on that side of things. The tackle today is our daily email. If you would like to sign up, very easy to do. Just click tackle today and you can sign up right in here as well. Each day, just a quick little email in the morning, kind of, some thoughts, the schedule for the upcoming day, all of that fun stuff. If you would prefer, you can read it in here directly on Tackle Trading. It will be delivered faster to your inbox, but you can read the tackle today right here at Tackle Trading if you prefer as well. That is certainly an option. We are active on all of the different social media platforms, right? Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So if you are using any of these platforms, certainly invite you to come on over and join us. I think in a lot of ways, we're probably, best known from YouTube and our, live streams, because we do, the halftime report every single day, the Trade Masters webinar every single week. We do regular special webinars, including next Monday night. We'll be doing one on technical analysis. You can set a reminder, and it should be a lot of fun and hopefully very informative for members of our community. So, we're always doing more over on YouTube. And while we're best known for the live stuff, we've got a lot of other stuff over on this channel here as well. A lot of how-tos, walkthroughs, what are, Thinkorswim tutorials. And we're always, looking to add some more content over there. So if you're enjoying our YouTube channel, we certainly, would invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. It certainly will help you find us when we're going live or when we have new content. It also helps us as we kind of navigate the world of YouTube. So certainly do appreciate that. But yeah, if you're using any of these platforms, come on over and join us. It's just another way to be able to hang out with the team, interact, see what's going on. If you're not using them, that's okay, right? If you don't like Twitter, you don't like Twitter. You don't have to sell me on it by any means. But if you're using Twitter, come on over and join us on the Tackle Trading Twitter. I hope to see you there. As we get wrapping up, hopefully this did give you a better idea of what's going on here at Tackle Trading, what we're about, what we have here on to offer here on the back end. And again, as I mentioned at the very beginning, and you've probably seen it come up a few times, got the ticking clock of 5 hours and 5 minutes and 3 seconds. All of our products are on sale right now for a few more hours. So if you would like a little more information, of course, feel free to head over to the store. And like I said, if you need anything, don't be hesitant to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com, whether that's more information on our products or just, something that you're struggling with. We're here to help, and you can always reach out to us. There's a lot of ways to do it, whether it's send us an email, hit me up in Discord, hit us up on Twitter, get in that lounge. Lots of ways to get help and to connect with other traders. So, as a member of Tackle Trading, we certainly invite you to take advantage of all of those things. Lastly, I would say this. I think in a lot of ways, everybody builds their own tackle trading. A brand new trader probably uses it a little bit different than somebody who's been trading for 3 years, right? And that's okay. And I think that's what's cool. We have a lot of content. We'll keep our team really busy, and we invite you to join us in all of the stuff that we're doing. But it's okay if, you're focused in these particular areas, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading either. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for tonight. But I thank you so much for your time. If you're, a new pro member, welcome to the team. It's great to have you. I look forward to getting to know you better. I have no doubt I'll be seeing you around in the different shows and different ways that we can communicate. So I look forward to getting to know you. If you're not yet a pro member, I appreciate you joining us tonight or catching the replay just as much. Hopefully it explained what we're doing here at Tackle Trading. If you are interested in kind of coming in and seeing what we're doing here on the back end with all this stuff, we do have a standing offer of a free 15-day trial. more than happy to get you set up so you can see what we are all about. You can find that link in any of our YouTube videos. You can find it in the store. You can, of course, send us an email if you'd like to do so. But whether or not you do, I certainly appreciate you hanging out and checking out Tackle Trading. And even if you're not a pro member, I imagine hopefully I'll be able to see you over on the YouTube channel and the Twitter and all of that other stuff, and wish you nothing but the best as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, get out of here. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for your time. Welcome to Tackle Trading. I look forward to getting to know you. But until then, have a wonderful night, and I will see you soon. Thanks, everyone.